Hey guys, Gold here with Gushmush. Very recently, I have started to dip my toes into a little game called Stranding, and I'm very disappointed with myself for waiting so long to actually get into the game because this is one of the best games I've ever played. So Stranding came out in 2019 for the PlayStation 4. In 2020, it finally came out for the PC. Initially, I wasn't all that enthralled with the game. I wasn't all that impressed, and I wasn't really having that much fun at the beginning of the game. But I was encouraged to keep playing it, to get further into it, and eventually I got to a point where it was after I'd completed episode 5, and something just clicked right there. And this game became an absolute masterpiece. So leading up to the release of Stranding, I was very intrigued by the game. I was very interested in it, and I really wanted to play it. But at a certain point, I started hearing details and seeing memes and stuff about the game, and I got scared. I got turned off from the game. I was seeing a bunch of stuff about it being a walking simulator, and I don't know why I saw that necessarily as a bad thing. As a person who spent dozens of hours playing American Truck Simulator, where you pick up a trailer, you get on the road, and you just deliver that trailer 30 minutes later down the road. I mean, Stranding is different from that, but it's not that much different. You walk, and there's a lot more to do with it. There's actually a story. So if I've spent as much time playing American Truck Simulator as I have, why not pick up Stranding? It's that plus more. And then there was the whole thing with Timefall, how it destroys your cargo, and for some reason I just didn't want to deal with that. I've always absolutely hated repping conditions in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and I was thrilled when Fallout 4 didn't make me bother with maintaining weapons. So Stranding very quickly evolved from just being a simple video game into actually being an experience. This was actually an experience that I think everybody should have. I've recommended this game to countless people at work. It started as a joke, and then at a certain point, I actually became serious about it. I think that some of the people actually believe that I'm still joking about the game, but I'm being dead serious. Stranding has actually inspired me to change my life and to actually live my life differently. Stranding has taught me to stop caring so much about myself and to give it a word, to be more altruistic, start caring about others, start helping others a lot more. And I've started to do that. I've made that my New Year's resolution for 2021. And I'll tell you, the last few weeks, I've been just a lot happier at work. Just trying to think about my coworkers more than I did in the past. Stranding taught me that, and it's bad that a video game had to teach me that, but it's true. I'm not lying, I'm not joking. I'm not a Hideo Kojima fanboy. I'm not saying all these things because of that. I've never played most of the Metal Gear games. The only one that I've actually played is the 5th one, which apparently I've heard is the worst one. Played about 26 hours into it, and then I was like, nah. I'm not a huge fan of stealth games. That's why I have the Deus Ex games, but I mean, they rely on stealth so much that I'm just, nah. If I'm gonna play a game like that, I actually want action, which Stranding doesn't have any of, and I'm perfectly okay with that because I basically knew that walking into the door. You can call me a Stranding fanboy. Sure, I am one. Just because of how great the game is. Not any relation to who designed it, who came up with it, whose head it popped out of. I don't care about that. I could care less about who makes video games at the end of the day. Last night, I decided to start looking at some of the reviews on Steam because I wrote my review last night, and I wanted to go down and look at what other people were saying in their reviews. Particularly since I loved the game so much, and I'd already played it 60 hours, there was no point in me looking at the positive reviews. I already know all the positive reviews. What I was interested in was the negative reviews. I wanted to see what people were saying about the game negatively. Fortunately, Steam has a filter where you can just say, I only want to see negative, so that's what I did. I scrolled down, I looked through it a little bit. I was reading some of the negative reviews, and I totally understand some of the reviews. I get where the people are coming from, and I understand why they were saying, I don't know. I don't recommend this game. But some of the reviews, I look at the playtime, and I see 6 hours, which is a substantial amount of playtime. 6 hours is more than enough time to determine whether or not you like a game and would recommend it. It's more than enough time to figure out if a game is good or if a game is bad. But I think some of the people might have just opened up the game and then they went to work or they went to class and racked up 6 hours of playtime. Because I see some of these reviews and it says very clearly 6 hours of playtime. And I read the review and it sounds like this person never actually played the game. Because the reviews just don't make sense. The gripes don't make sense. And I'm reading the review and I'm like, dude, you didn't play this game. You jumped on the bandwagon of negativity and you just decided to write this negative review. It's very evident off of what they're saying. So here's one. I'm going to hide the name of who posted it. So they start off with, don't buy this. Okay. That's a valid point if you give me some valid reasons. Not valid if you don't give me any valid reasons. This person has 6 hours of playtime, and this is what I'm talking about. 6 hours of playtime. Most of the time I'd look at a review and say, 6 hours, yeah, I could base my expectations off this game, whether or not I should buy it off of this person. 6 hours is a lot of game time. It's probably on par with most people who start a game and they realize, it's bad. I'll give this review a chance based off of the 6 hours. But it goes on to say, I played the first 4 or 5 hours doing incredibly boring missions, walking and delivering stuff to different locations. Felt like I worked for UPS or something. Yeah, this is literally the point of the game. The main selling point of this game is delivering packages and connecting the East Coast to the West Coast. The first few trailers for this game just showed Norman Reedus walking across barren landscapes. Like, what did you expect? The reviewer continues to say, no action at all. I kept playing, hoping that when the action did happen, it would be worth it. It was not. My thoughts on this are that, obviously, this early into the game, combat is sparse, and when you do encounter it, it's not very exciting based on the equipment that is available to players at the start. This reviewer did not have the ability to free BTs from their tethers. They didn't have many of the various assault rifles, grenade launchers, and shotguns at their disposal. So the action probably was lacking for this guy, but that's why you got to keep playing. You could counter this and say, actually, you need to grab my attention from the get-go. Okay, valid. But he doesn't say this. He seems to claim that he got to the good part and it wasn't good. Now, this is his opinion. This is his opinion, and reviews are, at the end of the day, opinions. But the review continues, and this is where I feel like this person played a different game. They say, the controls and inventory system were clunky and stupid. What? What did you play? Because you didn't play the same game I played. The controls make so much sense. The triggers, yes. We are always so excited about those darn triggers. You pull the left trigger, and you aim down the sights. You pull the right trigger, and boom, you shoot them in the face. Well, hold your horses, because not in this game. In Death Stranding, the left trigger lets you shift your rate to the left. The right trigger lets you shift your rate to the right. That makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense to me, should make perfect sense to everybody. If it doesn't make perfect sense, I don't know what's going on. It's not clunky or stupid in the slightest. In fact, it's actually pretty intuitive. When I saw my cargo start to shift to the left, I leaned to the right. When I saw it start to lean to the left, I knew, gotta pull that right trigger. Gotta get it shifted back to the right so that I don't fall over. I instantly knew what I needed to do when I started to see the weight on Sam's back start to shift. A jumps just like it always has. A has never allowed you to say apple to Wheatley. Just jump. B, it still makes you crouch. That's not new. The only thing that is new is shifting the weight with the triggers. That's the only thing that's new. Everything else is the same. You move with that. I mean, it's the same. So I'm not sure what he's actually trying to complain about with the controls. Now for his inventory gripes. First of all, there are 3 different inventories, and this reviewer does not specify which one they are talking about or if they're talking about all of them. I assume that they're talking about all of them. if you're going to take the time to write a review, you got to be more specific. You might as well just have said, don't buy this, and just leave it at that, because you have to write something to leave a review on Steam. So just write, no. Just write, don't buy this. Put a thumbs down. That's all you have to do. I don't know why he bothered to take the time to write this review. It's a short review, but, I mean, it took him more time to type out the short review than he could have spent typing out a review. The inventory system accessible from the terminals is basically the equivalent of any of the shop menus in games like Skyrim or Fallout. The inventory system to manage Sam's cargo is super simple. It clearly breaks down which pieces of cargo on your back, on your tool rack, on your utility pouch, in your grenade pouch, on vehicle 1, on vehicle 2, offloaded on the ground. You can press Y to optimize your loadout. So, for example, if you have a ladder on your back but you don't have anything on your tool rack, just press Y. It automatically moves the ladder onto your tool rack, and then it disperses the cargo where it's not stacked stupidly at all for you. It's great. Again, I don't know what this reviewer's gripes are with the inventory system. You also have like 3 separate equipment wheels while you're traversing the world. White on the D-pad shows you all your tools. Up shows you all your wearables. And I forget what the other directions do, but one of them, it lets you access your canteen, your food, and it lets you whip out your penis if your bladder is full. The only part of the inventory that maybe is annoying is having to hold down A to confirm your changes. Yeah, holding down A is pretty annoying. Can we just press A, please? Holding it down takes a few seconds, and it kills the speed run. I'm not speed running, but it takes a few seconds longer. A few seconds that would be nice to get back. Recycling is also pretty annoying because, legit, every time I feel like it takes a full minute. The review ends stating that Death Stranding is one of the worst games I have ever seen in modern times. What? Hold on, dude. Let me scroll up. Oh, look at this. Winner, Most Innovative Gameplay Award, Death Stranding. Yeah. That's a problem. That is a problem. They don't just give out these awards to anybody. In fact, they only give out one every year. You know how hard that is to get? You get one a year. That's hard to get. Death Stranding got it. You can't say that this is one of the worst games of modern gaming and then look at this award that it has earned. Oh my God. Golly. How did you say that? How did you even type that? This game simply does not have enough action for this guy's liking. I mean, he needs to go. There are games like Fortnite. There are games like Call of Duty. Those games are chock full of action. Other than while you're matchmaking. I mean, go play one of those games. Don't pick up a game that is advertised as a walking sim and then get mad when it ends up, in fact, being a walking sim. Get mad when they tell you that there will be flying cars and there are not any flying cars. That's when you get mad. You don't get mad when they say, yeah, it's a walking simulator. And you play it and it's like, oh yeah, this is a walking simulator. That's what they said it was. The first few trailers are just Sam walking. And then at the end he whips out the gun. It's like, oh, a gun. But other than that, it's him walking. I'm not trying to censor negative reviews. Negative reviews are good because they help inform buying choices. But negative reviews need to be properly written. And this reviewer, he just never gave the game a chance. Serious gripes should be aired, but this reviewer doesn't have any other than the fact that Death Stranding is at its core a walking simulator. At the end of the day, the only complaint with this review is that Death Stranding is a walking simulator. It is. But it's a darn good one.